How would you feel if we told you that waste accounts for about 15% of a person's carbon emissions? Now, let's zero in a little bit more. According to the National Zero Waste Council, more than 60% of food waste per Canadian household could have been consumed. So, how can one change that number of 15% to a level that is better for the environment and humans? Hi, we are team name !! And this is our app, LandEmpty, designed to reduce waste output from households and individuals in order to help reduce their carbon footprint. Our team members included Elaine, Kate, Lynette, Tyler, and me, Charlene.
So, once again, what's the problem that we're facing? Too much trash. On a global scale, the yearly waste production is 2.12 billion tons. The estimated waste in the oceans is more than 10 million tons. In terms of Canada, each Canadian throws away about 2.7 kilograms of garbage every day. There are over 10,000 landfills in Canada that are quickly reaching their capacity. So why exactly are we making land empty? Since every Canadian throws about 2.7 kilograms of garbage per day, we want the app users to be conscious of how much and what they're throwing out. By adding functions, such as weekly waste, global displays, and advice bars, we hope to encourage users to reduce their waste and carbon footprint output and allow them to recycle or reuse products that they try to throw out. Additionally, we hope to achieve the following results, including letting the users be aware of how much trash they are producing and how it would harm the world, helping users organize their household waste, encouraging users to reduce trash waste output from household individuals and reuse or recycle more, and finally reducing their carbon footprint. Our app is going to help the mentioned issues in two main ways. Firstly, encouraging users to throw less away by displaying how much people throw away. Second, demonstrates how to throw less to show that it is actually not that hard to be environmentally friendly.
This is our minimum viable product as we have it so far. Here we have our articles which we can scroll through, as well as which leads us to the advice page. The different sections where we can put inputs, quantities of different and types of different kinds of wastes, as well as add compost to our total tally. Here where we can input the approximate sizes of our various bins. Where you can input and check your goals.
Going in depth into the MVP functions, function number 1 is waste tracking. This function allows users to see how much they've thrown out during the week compared to how much they've set on throwing out. It also converts their progress to a number format that allows a clearer idea of how much waste they've thrown out and encourages them to throw less.
The second function, Advices, lets users know how they can reduce trash and how to recycle certain items. When recycling or reducing waste, it's difficult to sort out everything and make a decision on what to do, so this function is sort of like an FAQ page for trash. It's also how we're going to guide users to a more eco-friendly mannerism using statistics and general advice. The goals or limits function acts as a motivator, sort of like a game progress challenge bar, except users want to keep it as low as possible. Once again, the closer the user gets to the limit, the bigger the guilt trip.
Okay, wonderful. Great job. Team name, ! Wow, your team name's one of the harder names to pronounce. Anyway, just a reminder, if you have questions from the audience, please post them on the YouTube chat. So, judges, I'm going to pick Kelvin this time. Kelvin, do you want to start us off with a question for the team?
Sure. Congratulations. Very clean design. I like it. It's a great job. And especially I like the guilt trip or advice, right? So it's a very well thought out feature, especially when you couple that with statistics, right? Now, one of the things very hard with apps is adoption, right? They like it, you launch it and they like it, but how do you get users to stay on, right? So I was wondering, have you guys thought about gamifying that a little bit once the app is operational so users can keep on you can keep making them feeling guilty, or at least have some sort of motivator, so that they feel less guilty. Have you guys thought about that?
Is this my cue to speak?
Yes, we can hear you. Yes.
Asking if this is my cue to speak.
You want to answer it?
Am I supposed to be the one answering this, or is it or are we waiting for something else to happen? I'm asking.
If you have an answer,
prompt?
if you have an answer, go ahead and give the answer, Tyler.
Well, let me tell you something. This may be called Game of Apps, and that we're not making actual games, but who said we couldn't gamify an app?
Okay.
Okay.
That's my first and pretty much only comment regarding that. I can't really give you a proper answer.
Okay, no, fair enough. No, that's great.
We did consider it for a while, but we were also thinking that if you're going to be using an app like this, chances are you're the one taking out the trash. And, like, especially since, like, a lot more often than not, at least from our observations, we found it was, like, the adults who would be doing it, or maybe, like, some kids would do it, but, like, if they're taking out the trash, they're kind of, like, doing it as a chore. They don't really want to put too much thought into it. So it's probably wouldn't really appeal to our audience, even if it was gamified.
Oh, okay. Thank you for those inputs.
Very thoughtful answer. Yeah. Any other questions from the other judges?
Yeah, I want to ask a little more about the user perspective of things. So your app seeks to try to raise awareness on how much trash people are throwing out and stuff like that. So interested to know if you guys did any user testing, and what were some initial impressions on it, if you guys did any. And this is your cue to speak. Any one of you guys can take it.
Do you guys understand the question? Did the question make sense?
I think all of us are quite hesitant to speak at the moment. I'm not sure, though. I'm not them.
Go, Lynette. We've just been going in the Discord. Who wants to talk?
So basically, here's the thing. We never really did any user testing.
Okay, that's an honest answer.
Hey, well, at least you guys are not sus. Cool.
We're just in the background like, who wants to answer? There's an answer. I want an answer. What's going on? That is the entirety of our Discord chat.
But you kind of described a little bit earlier. You kind of described a little bit earlier about your user profile, right? So if you were going to do user testing, how would you have tested that?
Sorry, about the user profile? Which one?
You mentioned earlier about, you said typically it would be someone younger taking out the trash, and when your previous answer, you said that they wouldn't gamifying that wouldn't help for them, right? So coming up with those conclusions, how did you come up with those conclusions?
Mostly from our own observations in our own households, and like those who were familiar with, like if you like say our own household, as well as like maybe if you're like familiar with the way a friend runs their household, and just that kind of knowledge that we get from people we know in ourselves.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, great. We have a question from the audience. This one will hopefully be easier for you guys. A question from Alex. Why the name?
Now this one, I think I can answer. If any of my teammates would like to correct me, go ahead. So basically, my original plan was just to set the team name to just team name, but then someone decided to throw in a random punctuation thing at the end. Then, just a chain of just random punctuations at the end of the sentence, team name. And then I just came in and threw all of the punctuation examples into a single thing, and here we are.
Pretty much.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, great. Well, thank you so much. A team name, semicolon, colon, exclamation mark. So don't forget to claim your Among Us colors in breakout room number 1 after this. Okay, thank you and good luck.
And by after this, do you mean after I'm done our
like now.
turn, or like
Yeah.
after the whole thing?
Like right now, in
Oh.
2 seconds. All right. Okay. Thank you.